Boys, did anyone notice that after the big conversation we had about when we went into the last podcast, we said absolutely no swearing, just going to keep the content clean this time. Did anyone notice I swore in the first 4 seconds?
No, I can't say I did.
Literally dropped a massive F-bomb 4 seconds into it, and Google AdWords won't promote our video anymore.
So is this a non-swearing one as well?
This is an absolute non-swearing one, yeah. Okay. And so if there's any massive chunks out of the podcast for our viewers, that's why.
Flaming podcast just hands.
You know what? You can't even say that.
Really? Yeah, we're bleeping that one out. We're zooping that one out.
Yeah, no Kevin Spacey jokes, no F-bombs.
Oh, Google AdWords cannot specifically look for Kevin Spacey.
That is some advanced technology.
That's iRobot shit.
Yeah, you can't even say his name. Some iRobot.
It probably just would come back like, you four should be in jail.
You've been reported to
the police. Yeah, well, they're not wrong. Alright, boys, so we'll try and keep it short and sweet with this episode. This is our first podcast where it's the actual footy season. So, believe it or not, we're 8 podcasts in, and we haven't done one during the footy season yet. So, round 1 is just around the corner. I know you're all very excited, as am I.
Yeah.
So, I thought we don't want to obviously go too formulaic with these podcasts, but I think for the first one it makes sense to go through game by game. So, we can start off with the Richmond-Carlton game.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Game.
I don't know about you guys, but I reckon since they've introduced the Richmond-Carlton game, it's always been an extremely boring game.
Yeah.
Have you thought that?
Well, I mean, yeah, they usually have been both quite average teams for the last 10 years or however long they've been doing the Richmond-Carlton games. But
I think Carlton was good when they started, and then and Richmond was terrible, and now it's flipped, and they've never actually really had any good games.
But, I mean, that's all right. I mean, I'll watch it because I'm just stoked that footy's back on.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, I mean, that's going to bring... AFL's happy because it brings record crowds in. I mean, this is, I think, Richmond are going to try and beat a record for the most games having over 100,000 people attended. I think this will be the 4th one in a row.
Wow, really?
I think.
Yeah, I think I did read that. Yeah, you're right.
So I can see it. Huge game. 2 Melbourne teams, 2 big, historic Melbourne teams. It's going to sell out. It's going to have 100,000 people there. You can see why they keep fixturing this game on each year.
That's true.
Even though it hasn't been a spectacle for a while.
I've got to say, I'd love to see Carlton upset Richmond.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, well. Yeah.
I mean, people talk about having the first game of the year is the grand final replay, but I think people are going to watch the game no matter what game it is, so they can afford to pack out the MCG with any game, really.
Might as well make it a Kangaroos St Kilda.
Let's not go that.
That's a bit extreme, mate.
Yeah, sorry. We do want over 50 people there.
Again with the North Melbourne, you
respect the tenacity of the supporters.
Stick by.
It's character building. They had an Eagles St Kilda opening game this season 10 years ago.
An Eagles who?
St Kilda at Subi.
Oh wow.
What year was that?
06.
Yeah. Back when you guys were good.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was the grand final replay? That was 07 when.
What do you define as good?
Sydney.
06 when you won a flag.
Yeah, okay, so you're only good if you won a flag.
Not quite, but
okay.
I just saw
so when was Fremantle good? Based on that logic.
We've been steady for the past 20 years.
Yeah,
we've been way more consistent.
Alright, boys, so we can go through the first game properly. So Richmond and Carlton, I think we're all probably going to agree Richmond outranked favourites. Is that an okay phrase? I think, No.
They'd be paying sub $1.35, let's put it that way.
Yeah. I just think everyone's sort of waiting for them to fall off the perch a bit. I think everyone was a bit unconvinced. As we said in previous podcasts, we keep writing them off, and every step of the way they just silence the haters. To use a really cringy phrase. But
haters.
Yeah, the haters. But for them, that JLT pre-season series, I thought they were pretty impressive with, it was obviously pre-season and they beat up on some weaker teams, but I think the mindset where they came out to play and didn't sort of rest on the laurels. We did talk about this in a previous podcast, but I think that's a really good sign of where their head's at, and I think they're in a very good position to, I'll probably at this point, I'll tip them to go back-to-back, just because of the whole MCG factor. So,
big call.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not like I'm claiming it. I'm just saying they're probably
The first Essendon, and now swings like a bloody rusty gate.
I never tipped Essendon as the favourite. I'm saying Richmond are the favourite.
No. You'd have to go with Richmond at this stage.
Yeah. With Carlton there, I mean, the talent on their list is pretty undeniable. Like, you got Dow, you got Curnow, Paddy Cripps is still a young fella.
Wiedering.
Yeah, Wiedering.
Marchbank.
Yeah. There's more. There's Presty, Seaton, all these guys. There's a really good, Plowman. Pretty good nucleus there. I just think they're a little bit young still. There's a few people.
They're still 2 years off being really good, I think.
If they're not bottom 4 this year, I don't know. I don't know.
What are you going to make
What are you going to do?
Yeah, go on.
This isn't going to be, if Sanchez goes to United, I will. What was it? Eat my own.
Hat, I think.
That's what eat a hat. Yeah, have we got a hat in here?
There's one behind you, actually.
Feeling hungry?
Well, look,
we can make this a live event.
We can put on the spot here.
Yeah, this would get some views.
Okay. Anyway, Carlton should be bottom 4.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
They did add Matt Kennedy as well from GWS, who was picked 13 a couple of years ago, and just building a really solid nucleus.
A few years away, definitely.
Yeah,
I can see it's being another development year where they'll improve on last year, but still, I can't see a lot of wins coming.
Yeah. We know Doherty just did his ACL as well, so one of the most important defenders has gone down. But a few people on the bright side are tipping Curnow to have a breakout season. I think he's a bit more of a Kudafides clone. I'm not sure whether that's going to be this year. He's
still pretty young.
He's pretty raw, and I guess for him it's about finding position as well. Because he's multi-talented, but is he going to become a big-bodied mid, or is he going to be a bit of a super utility?
And they've lost Bryce Gibbs. That's a big blow to them.
Yeah,
he's one of the
club for.
He's got a lot of stick early in his career, but his last 2 or 3 years have been really good.
Yeah.
So that's a big blow to them. I've never been totally personally convinced by Mark Murphy. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, he's definitely in. Bryce Gibbs, I think, is a better player than Mark Murphy, but a bit. But Mark Murphy's been their captain for a few years.
Yeah, and a good captain.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Plus the evergreen Cade Simpson. I mean, he's one you just every single year for like the last 5 years. I swear it's been like, oh, he's probably slowing down now, and he always crunches out the numbers.
It's strange. They do have a pretty good, as you said, like a nucleus of a team. But I guess it was Bolton's first year last year, wasn't it, as coach?
I think so.
And it's a few radical changes in getting the team to mesh, I guess, coming up over the next few years. But that's a very solid nucleus of younger and older players. It would be if Bryce Gibbs was there to continue, for the next 3 or 4 years as a leader, it would be better for him. But
I think they lack the 25 to 30-year-old players that are elite. I think they've got a lot of young talent. They've got a couple of good senior players, but I don't think they're going to be able to push for finals with just how raw their list is. I think they're a couple of seasons off, like we said. So tipping them to go down, but we'll see.
What do you reckon? We're talking points as well? I reckon it's going to be 78 in my head.
78 points?
I think it's going to be demolishing. I reckon Richmond are going to come out.
Yeah, I reckon about 50 points. Carlton did
24, I'm going. I'm feeling it could be close.
That'd be a pretty good game if it was 4 goals, yeah.
I'm going 103.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll go 55. I'll go 55 points or something like that. Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty convincing win. So.
If Richmond come out and annihilate Carlton, I think there's going to be a lot of people kind of going, whoa, like, we could have a seriously good team on our hands here.
That's true, yeah.
I think they'll want to. They definitely want to, as it says, silence the haters and just, I don't know, get off to a really good start to the year.
Yeah, and Kevin Bartlett might, his 5-peak call might gain a bit of momentum. You guys heard about that? Where he said, Richmond are building for a 5-peak.
I can't stand that guy.
Yeah,
he's a screwdriver.
Just shocking call after shocking call.
Trying to think of a non-swear word.
He's a tool.
Yeah, tool, yep.
Yeah, screwdriver, same thing.
That's an old codger, isn't he? Really old.
He's got to be like 104 now.
The bloke you can see it like an RSL on like on any given night. And the meat raffle, like every single meat raffle that's been in the RSL for the last 25 years, and he never went to war. Like that guy. That's Kevin Bartlett.
In a nutshell.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, moving on quickly to the second game of the week. Now that it looks like a bit of a juicy one. It's the Bombers host the Crows at Etihad Stadium on a Friday night. Now, two teams you think will be pushing for top 8, maybe top 10 for Essendon. But the whole, the whole home ground factor, how Adelaide's going to respond coming out round 1 of the season. It'll be really interesting to see how that matchup goes. And I think there's a few question marks still on the Bombers. I feel like they're a team that's always been able to extract everything out of their talent. Under Hurd especially, I feel like they overachieved when...
Drugs, mate.
Yeah, I know.
The systematic doping regime.
Yeah, I know.
I know what you mean.
I guess so. Yeah.
I do find I understand. Yeah, so
systematic doping. Do you think the drugs is just solely to blame? Well, not blame, but solely to credit for that?
No, it's not. No, I don't know how much of a performance enhancing factor that regime actually had.
And it comes down to game plan and stuff like that, and effective team cohesion and stuff. Those are important factors. But with them, I was just thinking, their midfield these days, looking at Essendon in particular, they're quite small. They've got Heppel, who his dimensions are decent. Just going to leave that
go
one.
anywhere.
Yeah. And Zaharakis as well. But beyond that, they've got Merritt, they've got Parrish, they've got Devon Smith, and probably someone else I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And they're all just sort of small frame mids. So it'll be interesting whether they have the big-bodied mids to sort of compete in like high-pressure finals. Adelaide got the Crouch brothers, some of these tougher, Sloan, good, real contested players. So
hardened midfield players, you'd argue as well. Yeah,
that's true.
Hardened midfielders with good dimensions.
That's what you want. You're trying to draft for.
I was thinking they've got a couple of youngsters there, Kyle Langford and Jaden Laverde, both taken in the 2014 draft, and they're both guys. They're real athletic flanker types. Big power utilities, and I think they were both hoping they'll become big midfielders because how fashionable big midfielders are. And I just wonder if these guys are ready to take the next step. I'm not sure if I see them as big prime midfielders, but they're both 191 centimetres and 90 kilos each. So two players that could really add something for them this year. Played about 30 games each, so could take the next step.
Okay.
And then we got obviously Danaher, who I know you're a big fan of.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Danaher. I think he's got the full game, to be honest. As a forward, he's extremely athletic, great mark. He's a pretty decent kick now, so yeah.
I think he could you could say he announced himself last year, but I mean this year he could really push himself into being one of the top two key forwards in the game. How old is he now? He's about our age.
23 or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's either our age or a year below, which would mean 24, 25. So, they've got that up their sleeve, and then obviously Hurley as the bookends.
Yeah.
But,
for me, the best key defender in the game.
That's a big
Hurley.
call.
Yeah,
that's a real stanky
one. Still got him above Rance.
Yeah, considering the height and the profile that Rance has now, I think a lot of people consider him top 5 players in the game. I feel like that's been reflected in the media a lot lately.
Yeah, it has.
Big call. But I was thinking about the Bombers today. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder what direction their list is going in. I don't know, because obviously they were somewhat contending. They had the massive setback with Asada, forced to fall to the bottom of the ladder, get a bunch of draft picks. And
they didn't really have that many though, because they got them all taken. Don't forget.
Yes, they had 1 year of draft picks taken, but then the following year they finished last. So they got McGrath, and then even in 2014 they had picks 17 and 20. So I think it was at the 2013 draft they were absent.
Yeah, there was
no, because they took Zach Merritt in 2013.
Yeah, there was a year or two where they just didn't have picks. I don't think.
You're right. I can't remember what year it was. But either way, they've still found talent somehow. They got Merritt, they got Laverde, these guys, McGrath, as we know, and then a few others.
Some big raps I've heard on Francis from Bomberland. He hasn't played that much football.
There's another one
through injury.
He was pick 6. So,
yeah,
2015, I want to say. So.
He was back to back with someone else, wasn't he? Francis, and then they took someone else as well.
Really? I'm not sure about that. But
I remember that.
I'm impressed.
Yeah,
that rings a bit.
Francis 2015, McGrath 2016. But anyway, my point is, I just wonder where they're heading as a list. Are they still going to try and rebuild a bit, or are they just treading water? It's a bit of a weird one. So
it's almost like they're in damage mitigation.
Which is probably a dangerous thing with Worsfold at the helm, because the West Coast suffered from that for long periods of time after we bottomed out in about 2008. I mean, we didn't really go through. I mean, we had that one. What was that good year? 2011.
Yeah.
But really, we didn't bottom out to rebuild, and we just caught. We were kind of in the middle ground. The entire
like
time.
a dead cat bounce. I think.
Yeah, dead cat bounce.
It's one of those ones. If you can't win the premiership, like, you almost
Then
might as well do a rebuild.
Yeah, where are you?
There's no point in finishing fifth. There's no rewards for finishing in fifth.
The different teams have different philosophies on that. You look at the Geelong and the Hawthorn model, who have been so successful for so long, and they just can't tolerate saying we're going to spend the next 5 years in the bottom four. They just won't do it.
I mean, the free agency system really helped Hawthorn, and that period of being able to bring in players, offer them premiership success, and they could just drag players in. Yeah,
I mean, even still, they're like a bottom team. Well, a team that's not in the top half. And O'Meara says he wants to come to them. Tom Mitchell, both of them WA boys. They decided, I'm going to go play for Hawthorn.
Yep.
They landed a huge fish in Vickery.
Yeah, I think they've been chased hard as well, Vickery.
Yeah. But anyway, that's probably enough on the Bombers. But
it was Parrish and Francis 5 and 6.
Well done.
That's excellent work.
Well done. That was well done. Parrish is a decent talent as well.
That's good.
They seem to have actually done well
again, though.
I had to Google who it was, but I knew there was something like that.
Yeah. Francis is another one who's sort of a big-bodied utility forward who might become a mid. So we'll see. As I said, Adelaide need to come out, I think, with a statement this year. I think if they cop a bad loss in round one, that's going to be hard for them to get over mentally. Obviously the last game they played, they got belted at the MCG by Richmond.
This is at Etihad, did you say?
It is at Etihad, okay. It is. But I just think they just sort of need to announce themselves. I think that generally there aren't that many teams that get belted in the grand final and come back and contend the next year.
Yeah,
there really is
mental scars.
Fremantle is definitely. Actually,
Fremantle Eagles.
Well, let's say out of the top 4 or 5, they haven't yet. Port dropped out. The Eagles dropped to 6th. 6th. Yeah, Port did they miss the finals? I can't remember. But either way, they definitely didn't contend in 2008. So it'd be interesting to see how they respond.
I still think, I don't know, for me, when I'm analysing like the amount of decent players, I still probably have Adelaide over Richmond.
Champion Data has Richmond ranked 12th in the league for talent.
Jeez.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, it's Champion Data, it's just statistic analysis, but still, it's probably the best we have in terms of statistical analysis. It doesn't rate them high.
If Tyler Walker could just take that next step,
or maybe a shocking year last year. He didn't have a good one.
if he could really become like a good power forward, they've got a good player in every position, Adelaide. So I think a lot of people have started writing them off, but I think it's too early for that.
They definitely have the squad and as shown by last year, they have the squad and the temperament and the mental game to take it to any team and anywhere, at any ground.
Except the MCG.
Except the MCG.
In the grand final.
I know that's the thing.
Well, let's not. They also do need to rejig their defence. They did lose Lever, who, while not being a true key position player, was an important intercept sort of player for him. And who else? They lost Brodie Smith.
Charlie Cameron was another.
Charlie Cameron is a forward, but with the defence, they're going to have to restructure that entirely almost. And then Charlie Cameron, who's a forward mid, I think they can actually compensate for him a lot easier because their forward line's arguably the best in the league, and we've got Betts.
You didn't clarify what you're talking about the back line, though, I don't. I thought you were just saying general who was gone.
I think I did. That's cool. That's cool. No.
Darcy Fogarty's looked pretty decent in JLT as well. He's a big boy. Like he's bigger than most of the guys walking around there who are 10 years older than him. He's got a good strut going about him, but they're already calling him Mini Pav.
Yeah, or I don't know if he could go the way of Jack Darling, I think. I mean, I'll explain what I mean by that. Jack Darling came in as a massive, 18-year-old, 190cm forward, and kind of really impressed across the whole competition, and then completely plateaued when he realised his game couldn't go any further. So it'd be interesting to see if Fogarty can transition like Pavlich. Pavlich, all-Australian full-back, can play in the midfield, all-Australian forward, key forward. Can Fogarty become a midfielder like Pav?
Does he have to, though?
Well, to be a champion of the game, like Pav was, he probably will have to just be more than a third to a forward, in my opinion.
to be a champion of the game,
Yeah.
I'd say so as well.
Yeah.
But I think he could be a very good player.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jack Darling could be described as a pretty good player too, as a second forward. I just made it.
Guys, okay.
No, he's an easy player to beat up, but statistically, he's one of the better second forwards in the game. He kicks 45 goals a year.
Yeah.
Jack Darling.
Yeah, he does have like pretty frustrating moments. There's no doubt, but
You Jack alone, okay?
He's a good player, okay? Would you be a Darling and help him off a horse?
Yeah, good Gladworth strikes. All right, so just to finish on Adelaide and Essendon, what are you boys thinking for the result of that match?
I'm gonna.
Adelaide
tough.
by 17 is what I'm going for.
Okay.
Bombers by 4. I'm going the upset.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm tempted to go the upset, but I feel like after talking up Adelaide's list, I should pick them. So I'll go Adelaide by 21.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I was going to say 21 as well. So yeah, Adelaide by a few goals.
I reckon Essendon be in front at 3/4 time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's big,
What's that
bold
pain?
call.
What's that pain?
Yeah, what's that pain?
Yeah. All right.
God.
Moving quickly to St Kilda and Brisbane. Interesting one. I can't remember where it is. I didn't write it down, but it's in Melbourne. Yeah, it's a home game. I presume probably Etihad. Now, St Kilda and Brisbane's an interesting one because I feel the Saints are another team that, like Melbourne, they're sort of being pumped up as having a breakout year this year. And I was thinking, I don't know if I see it. I really rate the young talent they have on the list, but I feel like there might be late bloomers. I think they might be a team that steps back a bit before they go forward. Sorry, were you going to say that? Oh, I was just going to say, I think there's some really potentially elite talent on the list. Yep. You guys know how much I rate Hunter Clark. He's probably going to play round 1. Blake Acres is another one I'm a huge fan of. I think he can become an A-grade midfielder. But I feel like these guys are the slow burners.
Yeah. I think Caulfield's the one who's really standing out. A few of the senior guys have said he seems like a 100-game player already.
Yeah. Probably more than that, to be fair. 100 games.
Yeah, 150.
Chris Maston has like 170, so...
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
No, I think what Joyce meant is he seems like he's already played 100, not that he's got to only play 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Just like Chris Maston there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wait, that's what he was like when he came into the club.
Hey?
That's what Masto was like when he came into the club, was he?
Masto was probably better in his first season than he is now.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah.
In Carlton, was he? Oh, no, he was going to get picked by Carlton.
Yeah,
that's right.
Sorry, getting back to the Saints. Yeah, Caulfield is... he's one that I think... Well, it's easy to say now because he's playing well, but he's well suited to playing well early because he's just got that elite pace and elite skill. And seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders as well.
Plus, he plays rebound defender, which is probably a bit easier for someone that hasn't quite got the build because you're getting a lot more uncontested football.
That's true, yeah. I could see him being a real general sort of type in the back half, like a quarterback kind of like flanker. I don't know if he'll ever be a midfielder, but either way.
I sort of see him as like a Cade Simpson sort of guy.
Okay, yeah. Just bigger, I guess. But
yeah, just a bit bigger. But yeah, like you said, a quarterback, a real just distributor, good runner.
Can jump in if need be in the guts.
Yeah.
I mean, they profited so much from the Hawthorn, didn't they? I mean, they got Hawthorn's first rounded last year and got Hunter Clark and Caulfield. And they already had a pretty good nucleus to begin with. So Jade Gresham, obviously Seb Ross has kind of pretty much announced himself. He's only 25 though. And McCartan's probably going to, probably start to hit his peak around 50
He's sort of one, I feel like a lot of Saints' fortunes lie on McCartan.
Yeah.
They made a big call picking him before Petrarca. I think the wrong call, I would say. Although they needed that tall forward, and Melbourne had Hogan.
They've got Membry and Bruce these days, though, don't
they? Yeah, so Bruce isn't too bad, to be fair. He's definitely serviceable.
Even Membry's had a pretty good year last year, I think.
Yeah, Blake Acres has played a bit up forward and done all right. He's probably one that they really need him to take the next step. He's had a lot of raps on him and he hasn't done a whole heap.
He had a few promising games last year.
Yeah.
He did. There was a big talk of him between him and Dom Sheed, and they're probably, the trajectories of their career are probably pretty similar at the moment.
Yeah, I think Dom Sheed got out ahead quite a lot, and then now Blake Acres has really caught up to him, I think. Billings
is also one. He's a great half forward. I think he had a few
Team.
games with like 30 disposals.
Who's the bloke they took from Essendon? They traded from Essendon. Carla.
Yeah. He's a very important player for him as well, as a key defender.
Oh, I hate that guy. I'm sorry.
It's a strange unit.
Yeah, he is.
Strange unit.
He enjoys a bit of nose candy. What can we say?
You can get that.
What?
Whiz fizz.
Why does it burn? All right. Now, looking at the Lions, they're obviously St Kilda's opponent in this game. Now, another team that's talked up as being an improver. Not that that's hard for them. No disrespect. They were pretty much as low as a team could go. But I feel like they're starting to get towards a team where you could see them taking them forward.
Yeah. A few guys coming back this year as well.
Yeah, they're not a revolving door as much as they used to be. They've got a good nucleus like Rayner, Jared Berry, they really like, McCluggage, Witherden, thank you. Yeah, and then they've got some good tools as well, Eric Hipwood.
Yeah, Hipwood.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, so raw, and I think they're a long way off, but if they can keep these guys together, they might actually make finals within 5 years.
Yeah, these are old guys coming back, though. Well, I was saying, like, it's more the older guys coming back, like Christensen, Mitch Robinson. They missed pretty much all last year.
Big impact for them, I think.
Yeah, even Beams probably missed a fair bit of time.
They're gaining some experience in Hodge, which will be good for them. They do lose Rockcliffe, though.
That's true.
So I think that's actually going to hurt them a lot because losing a big-bodied midfielder that's going to win you a lot of clearances for a young team, I think they're going to rely on him a little bit.
It was sort of surprising how like willing they were sort of to just let him walk.
That makes
there's something
they've been back behind the scenes.
I think there's something behind the scenes
with Rockcliffe
and Brisbane. Not maybe.
They've had issues for years.
Yeah,
with him. That's
he
why
was captain, and they can't.
There's talk of a lot of people leaving because of his influence. So it could be a positive, basically switching him for Hodge. I mean, try and get these young players together and build a culture from there.
Yeah,
it's probably but bringing in Hodge, I mean, he's not going to probably do a lot from. Playing wise, I think, but there's like a leadership. He's obviously like an assistant coach kind of role, like Sam Mitchell was for us, except
he's probably going to play a lot of backline, I'd imagine.
And he has been. I mean, he was pretty ineffectual for Hawthorn last year, and obviously is very close to retire. Did he retire? And then
he did.
Yeah. So it's not going to. I think so. Bringing him into the club kind of shows that they're still 5 or 6 years away from probably. Really wanting to push finals. I get maybe not 5, maybe 3. But
it is nice to see someone like that going up to Brisbane as well, and
just to show that like it's not actually that far for
because they have battled for a long time.
Well, it's good. Sam Mitchell came to WA, Luke Hodge going to Brisbane. Like showing players that you can actually move into state and move in these clubs. It's not the end of the world, and probably with having young families as well.
That's true, and coaching jobs kind of
and coaching jobs probably a ton of money thrown there. It's 2 salaries probably.
I wonder how Charlie Hammond's going to go up there because obviously we know how good an offensive mid/40 is, but he's at the end of the day he's outside as well, and I think he profited a lot from Adelaide's team being so good. And I don't know if he's going to have the same effect at Brisbane where it's going to be a lot harder for him to get the ball.
He was a very, very inconsistent player last year. I thought he had that one really good final, but I think Adelaide supporters, a lot of people were talking about not missing him that much because I guess that's the kind of player he is, as an offensive mid kind of forward, very opportunistic kind of thing. But then, as I said, Christensen is back, and they probably play pretty similar roles. You'd think.
Christensen's a bit more of a ball winner, I think.
Somewhat,
Even Zorko spends a lot of time on that half forward, probably slightly more than your average.
Surely he's going to take a lot of midfield minutes now, especially without Rockcliffe. They're going to need big bodies in there.
I think so, but I think he still will revolve through the forward line just because he's so good in front of goals.
I like Brisbane. Hopefully they do well.
I think we're all at the point where we're like, this is enough. You guys got to get good again soon.
Interestingly, this is both of these two clubs with the biggest debt. St Kilda's been told by the AFL to fix their debt or drastic actions will be taken. This is.
I wonder what they mean by drastic action. What are they going to do? Draft penalties? Or, I don't know.
They'll fix the problem. Well, they just throw money at them.
They might just have to give them like an emergency loan or something.
St Kilda not a pope. Remember Melbourne didn't they get done like 10 grand for tanking? at time.
Yeah,
And
Chris
that was
Connolly.
it. Yeah, it was. St Kilda obviously mustn't be one of AFL's favourite teams. You know, But is it something to do with the Etihad deal? Actually, I don't know enough information about this. So I'm just throwing it out to everyone else. Something to do with the Etihad deal, and then I just check out. So,
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I think, I don't think they're making. I think they're just breaking even from half the games at Etihad.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe there'll be more money coming in this time. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well,
St Kilda's another team that they're really enjoyable to watch back when they're in the grand finals, and again, I have a bit of a soft spot for them as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, speaking of games at Etihad, back to this one. We're going to just get. What do you guys reckon? Who's going to win? Joycey.
I'll go Saints by 25.
Okay, cool, nice. I think I would tip the Saints, but if I had to pick one upset this round, I'm going to go with this game. Because I work on the. There's always an upset round one. I feel like I haven't looked back to research that, but I feel like there is because there's always a new good team, and then you're like, what? How did they win? And then they end up being a good team that year.
That's why I sort of thought Essendon. That was my thought.
Yeah,
that's why I went Essendon.
I don't think Brisbane are going to be necessarily a good team this year, but I do think they might catch Saints by surprise.
Okay.
Saints had a pretty poor pre-season, I think, didn't they? They lost to Carlton, and I feel like they lost the second game, and looks amateur, but I can't remember what the second game was off the top of my head. But yeah, who cares? No, yeah, that's just my tip. What do you boys reckon?
Yeah, 23 points, St Kilda.
Couple of goals, Saints.
Wow, these are conservative guesses, actually. Pretty close games, people tipping.
Yeah, mate.
You don't know.
I reckon it'll be a comfortable win. I reckon it'll be a comfortable 24 point. 24. I'll change it already. 23 point.
Yeah. You could see this one just being one of those ones where Saints just get out to like 20 points at the end of the first quarter, and it just sort of stays there for the whole game.
It's not a fun spectacle of a game. It's just sitting there like, okay. Where's that for? What day is that?
I want to say Saturday.
Saturday
I've got
midday.
Chronologically.
Great Saturday midday game that just goes on. That's what I'm expecting this game to be. You know what I mean.
It will go on. Alright, boys. Port Adelaide Fremantle. This game's pretty close to your boys' hearts. We'll go through Port first, just to keep you hanging on a little bit longer. Round one, no Robbie Gray. Got suspended, obviously, for his hit on McGovern. Bit unlucky. On the flip side, they've actually got a pretty healthy injury list. I actually think they've got a good history of their injury list. I think it was only a couple of years ago they had, one or no players on the injury list late in the season. And now they're going in with basically a clean bill of health, unless something's changed since I wrote these notes, but which is possible.
2 weeks ago.
Before the jail.
Rockcliffe, I think, is a 50-50 at the moment.
Is that right?
Hasn't played JLT.
That's true.
They say he'll be back in time, but
Dr. Joyce.
I read some articles that sounded like he was on track to play. So, but we'll see.
He's broken his leg, but he'll play on.
I reckon he will. Yeah. Now, obviously, they've got a question mark on their recruits. They've got Rockcliffe, who I think probably doesn't have a question mark as such. But then there's Watts, Barry, and Motlop, who are all probably going to play round one, I'd imagine.
Watts kicked 6 goals.
He did as a key forward. Yeah.
He's ever kicked over 4 for Melbourne. I'm pretty sure. Comes to Port and kick 6 or in pre-season.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. I wonder how they're going to use him if he's going to keep kicking bags of goals. But they've got a pretty good blend of inside and outside with those recruits, I think. If you think of Rockcliffe's getting dishing the dimes, as they say, and then they got Watts and Motlop and Barry on the outside, obviously trying to fix a need there. And also, I think between Wines and Rockcliffe and Boak and stuff like that.
Power Pepper.
Power Pepper, exactly. They've got a pretty good ball-winning midfield. So, contested style players who can...
The bull's in the china shop, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, you think that would stack up well for a finals sort of atmosphere. That being said, they did just lose a close final to West Coast of all teams.
Yeah.
So
we do play Adelaide Oval well.
We do,
West Coast, I think, they got pretty unlucky.
Yeah. I think they beat us in all the critical stats and we won because that defensive zone was so...
I don't know how we won that one.
Happened again in JLT. Actually, I think we won the midfield stats in JLT, but I think Port had heavy rotations, so we'll see.
Speaking of big body mids, I think they've got one of the most underrated mids in the AFL at the moment, and that's Brad Ebert, ex-Eagle. He had a stellar year last year. Looking at his stats, and he's actually a contested bit of a beast now. So it will be sort of interesting to see how they line up, because I feel like Ebert, Rockcliffe, they're sort of all or nothing kind of.
It's interesting how he just completely forgot Ebert,
centers.
but he just picks up stats every single week. He's just that kind of player, one of the fittest players in the league.
He really suffered, I think, under the Worsfold reign at West Coast, where it was all Pritis is the midfielder and Ebert you can develop on the flank, and he was pretty bad on the flank for a number of years. And as soon as he went to Port, he becomes a really competent. Better than
competent. Time in the middle.
It's a
real shame.
How much could we use Brad Ebert right now?
Oh,
I don't want to bring it back.
He could have been. He would like vice captain, vice captain kind of thing.
Captain, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon for sure. Yeah. But it's a shame. But then again, if it's the Ebert family from Adelaide.
Yeah, there's always a chance. But I think go back.
Yeah, and people say that he was always going to go back, but we screwed him over pretty hard.
There's theories that he would have stayed had it not been for the whole Pritis thing. But
it's a real shame, man. He's a great player. I really like him. He's like a gaff, I guess. Again, they're just consistent players that work hard both ways, really hard, but both ways. Work really hard. Yeah, both ways.
Well, fair enough.
I like Brad Ebert, alright.
Goes both ways. Yeah. All right, now their opponents Fremantle. Obviously, I think they ticked pretty much almost every box this pre-season. Pushed Adelaide right to the edge, albeit in a practice match, and then belted West Coast and JLT too, which is showing form that we haven't really seen for a long time from him. Why you get that bloody grin off?
I was going to say you forgot the other one where we beat you in that unofficial game.
Oh yeah, well you played like your close to your strongest team. We played like a reserves team. That one doesn't
probably played better than.
And then you did better in that game than when your top guys.
Yeah, I know. That was bizarre. But we'll get to that a bit later when we focus on how bad West Coast were. I think a big hallmark for their pre-season so far has been defensive pressure. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, going back to what Rossi does well, because he even said it himself. He tried to copy Hawthorn the past 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And now he saw other teams doing what he used to do that have won flags, like Doggies and Tigers are doing the forward pressure sort of thing that he loves. He's like, teams are actually winning with my style. I might as well go back to it.
I think there's no secret defensive. Usually the top teams and the best finals teams always the best pressure teams. So I don't know. I don't understand why it's not a huge focus for every team.
Yeah. It's just, I guess the big thing is has he got the players buying into it? Has he got the players buying into this game plan? And to both JLT games both showed like the players are playing for each other and they're playing this high pressure.
The plan.
Yeah, they're playing the plan and they're getting results. I mean, that's everything you could ask for in the pre-season for sure.
I think,
Bit quiet there, Joycey.
Just thinking. I think the thing that I'm really happy with at the moment is it's the first time in a few years there's a lot of competition for spots, which always is a healthy sign. And it's actually quite hard to pick the starting 22 in round one. A few of the older boys, Daniel Pearce, Michael Johnson, even Cam Sutcliffe, I think they got a lot of pressure on them to stay in the squad because there's a few younger guys coming through that could easily take their spot. But yeah, I mean, you can't buy into JLT too much, so I'm not gonna go on about how great they are yet. But
I think scoring power remains an ongoing issue, but we did see Taberner do a few good things in the JLT. I know you're a big fan of Taberner.
I still
he could do it in a real game first before I give him the time of day. Not a waffle game or a bloody pre-season game when he actually.
He is only just approaching 50 games, which is what a lot of people say is the time where
he's been on the list for a long time though.
Yeah, I know.
For a 50 game.
Yeah, still. How old is he? Like 23?
Older than that, ain't he?
I don't know.
23, 24, I think.
Yeah.
So no, it'd be really, really interesting to see how we go, but hopefully it's good. I still think we're in a similar boat to Carlton in that we're like 2 or 3 years away from playing our best football. So
you do have better senior players, I reckon.
Yeah.
So long as we have improvement, that's the main thing I'm hoping for. We won 4 games in 16. We won 8 games last year, so if we could add another 4, if we could go to 11 or 12, that would probably put us right on the verge of being in the sort of 7 to 10, 11 range.
Yeah.
Then we could really prime ourselves for a big couple of years after that.
Yeah. 2 pretty certain young players debuting in round 1 as well. You have to say Banfield and Brayshaw have pretty much locked their spots in, wouldn't you?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Brayshaw definitely. Still, I think Banfield, I think some people are thinking he might not play.
I've heard he's the more certain of the 2 from what Ross Lyons said.
Okay, well,
Weird, to be honest.
at his press conference last week, he said you would think Banfield would play. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And then he sort of made it a bit more teasy for Brayshaw from what I've heard. He's a bit like, yeah, he could play.
I mean, that's just a Ross Lyon thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
He's like a really just can't give you a straight answer kind of guy.
It's cold. I just dropped the C-bomb.
I thought you dropped the C-bomb, but you didn't.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I'll make a prediction that Fremantle will be in front at 3/4 time and lose by 15 points.
Ooh.
Is Adelaide?
Port Adelaide.
Yeah, I know, but in Adelaide.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
In Adelaide,
Adelaide Oval, yeah. I think similar, maybe not exactly like that, but I think Fremantle will push it close and Port will just be able to come home strong and win.
I think Freo will be in it at half time and a bit into the third quarter, but then I think Port are just going storming home.
Yeah.
By storming home, I'm going to say 21 points.
I think it'd be a huge win for Freo if they won.
Oh, massive.
That would really, they'd announce themselves as potential finalists, maybe.
It'd be real question marks on Port if they lose this.
That's
real question marks on Port.
Yeah.
My heart says Freo, but the brain obviously...
What a surprise.
My heart says Port, but my brain says Freo.
Well, no, the brain's sort of thinking Port. It's their home ground. It's their sort of year where they're going to have to finally pull their finger out.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a bit of an all or nothing year for Hinkley,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got a contract till 2021 apparently. But
Freo have a lot less pressure on them, sort of thing. People aren't expecting us to do too much going in there, though I think we could, but probably
you didn't top up like Port did. Port have topped up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
We haven't gone mature. We've delisted and drafted 9 kids.
Ross has had the luxury that he could do the long rebuild and still be fairly certain that he would still be coach at the end of it.
If they do well if Freo do well in a few years, you think it'd be a masterstroke by the board to keep Ross Lyon like, look, just do what you got to do. We'll give you this extended period of time, and and see
Whereas
how it
someone
goes.
like Simpson, I mean, a lot of people last year calling for him to play the youth, but I think he would have a bit of pressure on him. I think if you guys dropped off big this year, I think he'd be a chance to go, to be honest, by the end of the
West
year.
Coast is a bit of a fickle club like that.
I think they'll show faith. They'll let him play out his contract, which is 1 more year, so 2019. So I think even if we come bottom 4, which I don't think we will, but if we came bottom 4, I reckon the club would stick by him for 1 year and then maybe give him a week. But
Eagles are really bred on success.
that's true. Yeah,
I think a head coach has to do well.
Oh yeah.
That's why I don't think we're entertaining the thought of an actual rebuild, but we're going to do it. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think Simpson has the time to say we're going to spend the next 4 years doing a rebuild.
Yeah. All right, boys. Let's, before we move to the next game, do our usual camera check because I really hope those haven't gone off. Thank God we stopped to check the cameras because one of them had gone off. So for those watching at home, apologies for that.
Apologies for the 25 minutes of our faces you've just had to endure.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Please have us in your thoughts and prayers and send podcast energies our way.
1 subscribe equals 1 respect.
Yeah. We'd love just one episode where something doesn't go wrong technically.
So far, we're going at 1 subscriber per technical difficulty.
We want to improve that ratio. Please help us.
So what's that? 90 technical difficulties through 8 episodes?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, boys. Gold Coast, North Melbourne. Now, on the face of it, it might not seem that interesting, but I think it could be it's a big game.
Tantalising prospect.
It's a big game for both clubs because they're probably going to be fighting each other to avoid the bottom 4, or get into the bottom 4 depending on how their season shapes up and how they want to approach the draft. But Gold Coast hosting. Now they've added Weller. Then they're going to not have Ablett, we know that, and Hanley is out for 4 to 6 weeks, so that's a massive blow for them. So probably lacking a bit of experience in round 1.
Talk of Riscatelli coming back, the one-hit wonder, or the one-season wonder.
One-season wonder. He's the only player from their original recruiting drive that's still there, excluding the draft picks like
they went so hard for him as well, and it does kind of suck how it's turned out. You
compare it to GWS, who had Phil Davis, Callum Ward, all these guys are like Tom Scully, these guys are still like an important part of their team, and now like by comparison, Gold Coast have just completely ripped.
I mean, that's a chat for another day, but I think GWS recruited way.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Gold Coast cooked it.
Gold Coast
Izzy Folau, Gold Coast. Yeah. So that was GWS. It was Carmichael versus Gold Coast.
He was actually better than Izzy, to be fair. But
they won the battle of the NRL project players.
I forgot that even happened. That's a dark period for them.
It was.
They've swept that. That's never been mentioned since. It's like
that is
like Poochie. Israel Folau returned to his home planet.
Yeah, that was a bit of a
strange
not pointless. You could see the idea behind it, but it just obviously the execution was poor.
He's such a. I gotta say, I'm pretty sure I can say this. Carmichael Hunt's such a scumbag.
He did mess with the culture pretty hard.
Well, have a look. He filmed Harley Bennell doing drugs, and then he sold the images.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
because I'm sure Carmichael Hunt never touched a drug in his life.
Yeah, seeing as he just got caught with a bag of coke and went to court 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. White substance, mate. It's illegal.
Sorry.
So come on.
It's Grandad Paracetamol, settle down, mate.
He had a
come down.
He had a headache that needed 2 kilos of paracetamol.
The one stuff with the codeine in it as well.
Anyway, moving on.
There goes the AdWords.
Yeah, I was going to say, Now, their spine's actually not looking too bad. They've obviously got Tom Lynch, the Gold Coast, who's one of the better key forwards in the game. Especially for his age. He's 25. So.
And a dual captain now.
Yep. So that and Stephen May down back, they've got reasonable bookends. So I mean, it's not all hope is lost. It's just their midfielders lacking a bit of experience, and Lockie Weller they'll add, but whether an outside mid forward is going to help him from season 1, I'm not too sure. I think he's going to be a bit
more of a project player.
Yeah, project player, and I think he plays best when people are giving him the ball, just because he's so damaging, but he's not a big ball winner. So that's a long-term one for them. They have actually had a pretty strong pre-season. I think there's a lot of optimism with Stewie Jew.
Yep.
They seem to have really bought into the defensive pressure thing we're talking about. So, if they do have a game plan that's executed decently, they might be able to belie their experience and actually play all right. So, interesting.
I mean, to be honest, it's hard to see them doing well.
Yeah.
Just looking at their list, new coach, lost Ablett. They got a few guys I do like. I'm a big Aaron Hall fan. I think he's a really good young player. I think
he's missing round 1 actually.
Okay. Hanley.
Jack Martin, he's still
he's still there. Yeah.
Hanley's good.
I like
Jack Martin's
Miller.
good.
I'm a big
Tuke Miller's. He's good. I think Colin Dajny had a good season last season, but they're just not. Yeah. I mean, none of those guys. They're all B+. Yeah. They're elite players.
Yeah.
Are Richmond's. I don't know.
Yeah. Stank.
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah. But I think they're in big trouble.
They'd be role players at other clubs, is kind of what you mean. I think their best players, they're just support players at other clubs.
Yeah.
Mickey B.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
He's back.
Be great to see him get on the park and string a few games together. Yeah,
Matt Rosa, the best number 24 West Coast.
Yeah, probably a bit of an underrated player, Rosa. I reckon. I hope he gets his act together, even though he's 30. I think it's a good place for him to sort of to shine late in his career. Help him out.
I like Rosa, big fan.
Yeah. What's wrong with Rosa?
He does remind me of a Fremantle-esque player, actually. To be honest.
He's like our version of Cam Sutcliffe.
Sorry?
He's like our version of Cam Sutcliffe.
He's way
get
better
in there,
than
16 possessions.
Rosa, no. During his best years, he was averaging 25.
Oh,
His next championship will be at TAs with Quinton Lynch and the boys, probably.
Yeah.
Nah. Well, Quinton Lynch is another underrated player. Actually, had a pretty good career.
Yeah, mate. Premiership winner.
Yeah. Not everyone has to be a star.
As
Not
you
everyone has to be good, all right.
We're a Fremantle team.
But anyway, getting off topic now.
I like Quinton Lynch, okay.
If you're not that far, we don't rate you.
Cam Sutcliffe is a terrible comparison. So, all right, North Melbourne, their opponents. What do you guys think North should expect to or hope to achieve this year? Now, we know that they're probably starting their rebuild we talked about. What's a pass mark for them? Should they just be all development? I think probably. Not
getting the spoons, probably
10 wins.
Good goal for them.
They really don't strike me as a team that would settle for tanking. I think they would probably just... Well, I think they're kind of in a position where they have to give their supporters...
They'll just suck on their own, is what you're saying. Is that
Sorry?
They'll just suck on their own, is what you're saying. Rather than trying to tank.
I'm
not sure what that means.
I'm just saying...
They won't try to tank, they'll just be bad anyway.
When you said suck on their own, that's very ambiguous. Let's stop the conversation dead.
I like
didn't even have to
ask. Like, I don't know what that means. I think they've picked up LDU now. I think one thing that you could criticise North for in the past, or at least their list, is they never had a real marquee player. I guess Brent Harvey maybe, but even still not really. Now they've actually got someone to build their squad around, and I think that's Luke Davies-Uniacke. He's just obviously he's marketable, but he's a big body player. You could see him becoming an elite mid. I think like the best midfielder prior to that was Swallow and Zeeble in their last sort of tilt. You know, that was never really gonna crack it. I don't think. Personally.
Very interestingly. He didn't really set the world on fire in JLT.
LDU?
Yeah, with comparing him to Brayshaw and Dow and Brayshaw, Caulfield did a lot better, but obviously that's 2 games, 2 pre-season games in. I think he's got a lot of weight riding on his shoulders, LDU.
He's going to have a lot of midfield responsibility, I think, playing as he's a big body, like even by AFL standards, he's going to be bigger than some of the other midfielders already at North, no doubt, so... there's that to consider. I still think I'll give him a good chance. It's top 3 for Rising Star.
Okay.
I think Brayshaw, Davies-Uniacke, Hunter Clark are probably my 3. Just getting on a bit of a sidetrack there, but
rough call leaving Dow out, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
And then there's like second players and stuff that are still eligible, I think.
Sean Darcy. I know.
I've gone off that kick a bit.
They discriminate against second-year players a bit.
Yeah. Which is kind of fair enough, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Jack Graham's still eligible. Witherden's still eligible.
Jack Graham, wow, yeah.
Witherden, he's a very good back.
Yeah.
Can we refer to Paydow as Daddy Pow from now
on? Yeah, go on. There seems to be a lot of faith with Brad Scott at North, despite his
being terrible.
His record, I mean, obviously his record's pretty modest. But when you think about it, I think he I can't remember what year he took over North, but I think he kind of inherited the list they had. He didn't really oversee the rebuild, and he kind of just tried to get as much out of that list as possible, but the list was never going to win a premiership. It just didn't have the top-end talent, and, I think he's been given a long leash, but maybe he's not as bad as people think. You know what I mean?
I guess it's a hard thing to... I mean, North have had real big financial troubles during his tenure. I think... I was like, paying him out would have been expensive. Like, I think...
They would have had to have spent the earnings from every supporter coming to a game just to pay out his contract.
And then where are they going to get money for ludicrously high contract offers?
Yeah, true. I saw Josh Kelly came out today and said he was very close to joining North. Wasn't necessarily today, sorry. I think it was within the last week. I read it today.
So was Dusty, I think, as well. He also said that.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's the nice thing to say when you've pretty much pied them.
Yeah, it's I mean, what you got to like, no, these guys
you're going to be the highest paid AFL player by, I think, like 500 grand or something if taking that deal.
I think Kelly has connections to North from memory, and he's Victorian, so the pool would have been pretty high. It's just, obviously, the balance of that. It's just going to a team is going to probably see some hard times for a few more years.
Versus a flag tilt at
I think he made the right choice.
Well, he signed a 2-year deal, which I think means he's going to see if they win a flag and then get out. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said this in a previous podcast. I think the more elite players, you can definitely see they've started shortening their contracts in order to drive up
to maximise their income.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. I mean, yeah,
fair enough.
All right, boys. Gold Coast North. Quickly, who do we think is going to win?
Start from that side. I'm still thinking.
Gold Coast, I guess, by about 15 points.
Okay.
Nah, North by 15.
Oh.
I'm going to go Gold Coast. I think North do have the better best 22, but I just think the Gold Coast have just impressed me this off-season with a bit of enthusiasm and commitment to a game plan. It is only has only been JLT, but I'm going to give them a run.
And it's their home game as well.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like their one home game till June, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Because of the Commonwealth Games, it's like their only home game for ages.
Mm.
It's not possible to pick a lose-lose scenario, is it?
Nil or draw.
Both horses will have a good time.
I'm going to go Gold Coast. I think their quality is slightly better.
Where'd that go? What's that?
Both horses. It doesn't matter. Sorry, just making a rude joke. Sorry, who did you say?
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, okay.
I thought you brought it up randomly, mate. Just no context at all.
I don't know if anyone in the podcast, listening to the podcast, picked that up, but as long as somebody did, I'm happy. All right, so we'll move on quickly to Hawks and Collingwood. Now, this for me is actually a fascinating contest, even though I think both teams are going to miss the finals. I think both of these teams are bottom half teams who still fancy themselves. I think you can describe Hawthorn or Collingwood as that, you know.
This will be a contest. It's got to be a contest.
I think it's going to be a good game.
Collingwood at the G. It's pretty much, it's a bit like a marquee game. I'm pretty excited for this, to be honest.
Yeah. So I'm just looking through my notes here. I've noticed that looking at Hawthorn's team, they've got this. I think they lack a bit of key position strength. I think they got Tim O'Brien playing as an undersized key back at the going into this year. And Gunston is going to pretty much have to play second forward to Roughhead, which...
he has been in the past.
Yeah, I suppose, but I think he probably excels as that third tall. But I guess what I'm saying is they probably could use bolstering.
Sicily?
Yeah, I think he's sub 190, eh? So, fair enough. But yeah, no, that's just my view. And with Hawthorn,
I thought Sicily was huge. Am I getting confused?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Maybe he's like 6'4".
This is the bloke who looks like a tall. He's the tall. Doesn't look like he looks like a tall.
I'm getting mixed up, maybe.
189.
Oh, no! I was right.
I wasn't getting mixed up.
Yeah, you guys threw me then.
He
just plays like
he does look tall.
Yeah. He lopes around.
They play him as a key.
He's very aggro. He's on the field. I don't know if you've seen him against Freo last year. He had an argument with his own teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Strange character.
Yeah. Pretty good drama to watch for all the neutrals.
Carlisle school of blokes.
Yeah. School of blokes.
I just got to try and circumvent the Google AdWords.
All right. So, boys, I was thinking, what do you think about the midfield of Hawthorn? Because they've got Tom Mitchell, O'Meara, Liam Shields, Isaac Smith, and Impey. But I think after that it drops off quite a lot. Langford's, I think, battling an injury, but comparatively to Collingwood, who I think are strong in the midfield, they've got Taylor Adams, Treloar, Pendlebury.
Side bottom,
exactly. And Hoskin Elliott's a pretty promising guy, and Tom Phillips, and then Chat Crisp as well. I feel like the depth of their rotation's a bit better than Hawthorn, I guess.
They've got Grundy in the ruck as well.
They'll probably even play to go, even though they said they were going to teach him a lesson. They'll probably play him.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, no, he's injured.
Oh, he is, yeah. I remember reading something about Degoe today. Yeah, I think he's going to miss round 1, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Degoe, actually, as a player.
Yeah, of Goey.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Goey.
The Goey.
Yeah,
Degoe is the Goey in Dutch.
Yeah. I know Hawthorn have added Impey this year, and he's another real outside type who just excellent skills and stuff like that. I think he's really suited to the Clarkson game plan. But I just don't know if they have the inside team to get it to him. I know Tom Mitchell was a massive ball winner, but for me, I feel like something's got to give for Hawthorn. They need an injection of talent, but they might be able to just keep recruiting people through free agency and never have to rebuild.
Convenient retirements, etc.
Yeah. So I think it's a big year for Jonathan O'Rourke. who, if you guys remember, picked 2 for GWS a couple actually probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. They traded pick 19 for him, and he's only played 9 games in 3 years, and he's probably one of the highest picks they've got on their list in terms of like under 25. Yep. So they need him to become good. Comparatively, Collingwood, as I said, I feel like their midfield is actually pretty strong. Yep. They're going to be missing Wells, Elliott, DeGoey and Greenwood, and we know that Goldsack did an ACL. Another interesting point for Collingwood actually is that we gave them a bit of grief during the trade podcast, our very first podcast, for giving away a second rounder. They downgraded a second rounder to a third rounder for Sam Murray from Sydney. He's just a rookie. I still stand by our comments at the time, saying they overpaid. I just noticed that camera might have just gone off. Excuse me for 1 second. And we're back. The camera had just gone off, like I suspected. Sam Murray. Now I'm just saying he had a pretty good JLT. Looks like he is firmly in the frame for selection in round 1. I do think they still overpaid for him, but bit of a win for them there as a real skillful rebounding defender. No,
I'm going to say that I was wrong, and they've got a good deal.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, my logic is anytime you're downgrading a second rounder to a third rounder, you don't do it for a player who's never played a game. It's just, I think in terms of looking at how trades go and market value, they just overpaid when they couldn't have. It's not even that relevant how good he is, in my opinion.
Well, it sort of is relevant how good he is.
No, because you can say that they got a good deal in the sense that they got value out of it, but whether they overpaid for what they could have paid, that's a different perspective of it.
Okay, yeah, I see. But how do you know he wasn't highly rated at the Swans and that's what they demanded?
Still, I don't think he would be worth a second rounder. I guess it's all subjective, really, but...
Yeah.
Still, Sydney's like a bottom thing. Collingwood would be a more lower team, so there wouldn't be that much difference between... Would there? In terms of picks.
What are we talking about?
That'd be at upper ends of the ladder.
What's actually going on?
Haven't you seen the new Star Trek?
Didn't you watch the first podcast? Yeah. No. We're talking about, just in case anyone's not following along, Sydney and Collingwood traded for a Sydney rookie last year, and they gave away a second
Is
rounder.
he playing? In this
He looks
game?
like he didn't play round 1.
Okay.
So,
how'd he go pre-season? Good.
Pretty good. 24 possessions and, against the Dogs.
So they got Sydney's third rounder and this kid for the second?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there'd probably be a fair bit of difference because Collingwood's second round would be a higher second round, and then Sydney's would be a
You
low
got $100
first.
and you got $50 back.
Oh, I know what you're referencing. Yeah. That was a bit of an inside joke. All right. So just to finish up on Collingwood, I think looking at their side, you could say they've probably underachieved with the talent they've got. I know that they've had injuries, but I think this is the year Buckley's going to perform. You could have said that about last year, to be honest, but
Eddie likes him.
Yeah, clearly. So quick tips, quick tips, Hawthorn and Collingwood. Who are we going for?
Hawthorn versus Sam Murray.
What are we talking about?
Collingwood by about 30.
Ooh, good tip.
Flip. Jeez.
Oh. Hold the camera.
Who's playing again?
We've just fallen apart in the last 20 minutes. Hawthorn, Collingwood.
Collingwood by 12 points in a good game.
Alright, yeah. I'll go something similar. Collingwood by a couple of goals, yeah.
I'll go Hawthorn by 3 points.
3 points.
Nice.
You're a bit of a Hawks, not fan, but you're a bit positive about that. Yeah.
Bandwagoner is the term.
Bandwagon. Yeah, jumping on the bandwagon early. A good 50 years early.
Alright, boys, GWS Bulldogs. Bit of an interesting one because I feel like this round 1, I don't know about you guys, there's a lot of good clashes. There's not many round 1s where I think the games are actually really good.
Yeah.
We know the Giants are decimated by injury. Everyone's tipping them to go up. I think some places have them pretty close to favourite for the flag.
Yeah.
They've lost Mumford and Wilson to other clubs. Mumford retired, Wilson to Fremantle.
Kennedy.
Yeah, exactly right. Kennedy to Carlton, and Williams did an ACL. So they're...
Setterfield did a...
Yeah, I don't know if he's that important to him, but yeah, you're right. That's another injury that hurts their depth.
Top ranked, draft pick.
So I just had a look at their team, and I don't know, now with a lot of these injuries, I wonder if their bottom 6 needs reinforcing. But I think someone like De Boer as you were saying the other day, has really come into his own. I think their team needed defensive edge, and surprisingly, he's come in and looks pretty close to best 22 for him.
Yeah, I think he's definitely best 22, and he's earned a new 2-year contract. So
there you go.
Good on him.
How old is he? He's like 30ish, right?
He would be getting close, I would guess.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
28.
So he's who he played for. Was he GWS as well?
Pardon?
Yeah, for 1 year.
Yeah.
He's back at Fremantle in like a coaching thing,
sure.
or Indigenous. No, not Indigenous. Sorry. No, he's
some kind
something.
of role though.
Isn't he a development officer?
I feel like
That
it's
new
something
thing
about
where we're recruiting out of not the Kimberley, out of like Kalgoorlie or whatever it is. He's
Academy.
coaching that
Academy,
Yeah,
maybe.
He was on ABC Radio Broom like yesterday.
Let me listen to that.
Huh?
This
I saw it on Facebook actually.
I don't listen to Perth News.
Yeah.
I tune in Davis.
I feel like what his new role has something to do with Indigenous communities. That's all I meant.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was Indigenous.
Yeah, it's interesting that they try to put new life into Fremantle players, old Fremantle players. It's disgusting.
I didn't want us to get rid of De Boer when we got rid of him though.
Neither did I.
Because he was a good clubman, he was good for depth. He was
one for me that he goes really well in the guts if you just give him actual time in there, but
he's a real Josh Wooden type, you'd say.
That is rough.
Two can play at the shit comparison game.
Josh Wood,
Yeah.
What a player, what a man.
Yeah.
This guy's bloody hilarious. No.
Get picked up.
But
what type of role does he play? A mainly negative
forward.
Yeah.
Just a terrible job. Like
Terrible
negative
job.
to the team performance.
Yeah.
No, but he's like
He plays a defensive forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a good role.
Yeah.
Looking at the Dogs, apart from Morris and Adams, they have a reasonable clean bill of health. They'll be interesting one this year. Looks like Norton is Aaron Norton, to clarify, with their pick 9 last year, is probably going to be close to round 1.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty suited to, as a key player, playing well early because he's such a good interceptor, sort of like Barras, who played really well when he was young because he's a really good flying mark kind of player as opposed to a lockdown one-on-one. So could see early games into him.
Excited for that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, where do we think the Bulldogs are going to go this year? I know we just did a ladder prediction. I think we had them just missing the 8, but for me, I feel like they're on the verge of. I think they've got to take a couple of steps back before they go forward. I think I use the St Kilda comparison as well. But I mean, their talent is so good, and it's silly to say that they're raw. But I mean, obviously half of them are premiership players. But I feel like they're still going through that transition, and they're going to be like Hawthorn post 2008, 2009, where they come back in a few years better for the experience.
I like them. I think they got a really good list. So
they've got good tools, and the midfield talent's there, and they've got an A+ potential talent. Bontempelli, like they tick those boxes.
I don't know if I'm as big on their list as you guys are. We were even talking about it a bit the other day. Like, I think in that time frame where you haven't been good again, there'll be other teams with better youth that will have gotten better than where they're at.
I don't know.
They did with the youth they had. They won the premiership. So the talent's there. It's an application issue.
You could say that youth kind of carry them through that. And Bontempelli won the BNF the year after.
Yeah, but that's when you thought those guys could get better. It's like that sort of.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Collingwood one when all those guys were young when they won the premiership, and everyone was like, "Oh, these guys are going to win the premiership for the next 10 years," and then they did nothing.
I suppose the opposite. Collingwood and Hawthorn are opposite examples of that. Hawthorn came back and just destroyed it, and then Collingwood obviously fell apart. Collingwood had a lot of mid-tier players that moved on. Wellingham, Thomas. Heath Shaw was a bit later, I think, but there was other examples I can't think of at the top of my head. But they did just lose like the arse out of their list. So we'll see what happens there. But But anyway, who are we thinking is going to play? It's a GWS home game.
I've gone GWS quite easily this one. Although, like I said, I do rate the Dogs, but I think GWS.
Yeah, Giants for me by 6 goals.
Very interesting game, this one. A really interesting game to see how the season will progress for both teams. I hope it's a tight one. I really hope it's a tight one.
Don't we all?
I really like Quinton Lynch again.
I don't understand that reference, and I don't want you to explain it up.
I was good because I want Bulldogs to be good. I want it to be like them, have a good year, and that's good for the competition, I think. Having teams, good teams, playing well. Them and Richmond. But if them and Richmond both were up there, they're at the peak of the last 2 years, then that'd be awesome. But I think GWS are going to get this done by 8 points. Where's gone with all that?
G-Dubs 32.
There we go. So unanimously.
All G-Dubs. Nice.
32. It's going to be that big.
All right, boys. Next game is probably my tip for game of the round. We've got Melbourne and Geelong playing off at the G. You could make the argument this could be a grand final preview. The fact that it's the G is pretty exciting, and I think it's an important game for Melbourne because everyone's tipping to come up. Their youth is finally starting to mature. They've got a new addition in Jake Lever, and they are playing a team, Geelong, who have given them nightmares in the past. Remember a few years ago they won 186 points was the margin. They scored 233. Admittedly, it was in Geelong, but
I think I'm on the bandwagon. I think I'm on the Melbourne bandwagon. I think they've got a lot of good young talent, and I'm a big Hogan fan, big Jesse Hogan fan. I think when he's on his game, he's almost unstoppable.
He needs a bit of help down there, though, I reckon, another key.
They're playing is it Tom McDonald that they've got?
The two McDonalds are the two. I guess they got Lever now, so I could probably move one of them forward. But
Tom McDonald kicked 5 on us last year, I remember.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think they tick a lot of boxes. Key forwards, key back, good mid, good runners, good inside players.
They've got Wiedemann coming through as another key forward.
They got some potential A+ in Petrarca and Oliver. Great ruckman. I think they tick a lot of boxes, to be honest.
Petrarca and Oliver, yeah, you could see being 2 A+ mids.
Yeah.
Like that is their ceiling, definitely. The fact that Oliver's achieved what he has at his age already is pretty crazy. So yeah, I agree. I think let's not forget they haven't played finals yet. So that you might say they whether they can jump all the way and win a flag. I mean, teams do it, but obviously you'd say maybe need to go through that barrier first. But I noticed they're $1.90 each for this game, Geelong and Melbourne. Bearing in mind Abbott's unavailable and Dangerfield is probably less than 50-50, I'd say. Based on what I've seen, Dangerfield. I think they're saying he's a chance, but it doesn't. It sounded like a reasonable injury. To be honest,
this will be a really good game. Really excited this.
Yeah.
Game of the round.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think it's Sunday afternoon.
Really excited. Just thinking about this game makes me excited for footy again.
Yeah.
I'm going for shock of the round. I'm going to go Melbourne to win by 50 points.
Whew, that is a shock.
That's a shock. Yeah. I think it's probably more of a shock if I don't know, like to think Geelong could win at this rate. Like the Melbourne hype is pretty severe.
Yes.
It's pretty, yeah.
It's funny how Geelong actually don't have that much hype considering that they've just recruited Ablett.
Yeah, one of the greatest players of all time. Yeah. I think Melbourne will go 5 or 6. I can't see them. I don't think they'll push top 4. I can see them making finals. I don't think they're going to be a genuine threat. But I think this is like a learning development year. Yeah. As you were saying. Start to play finals, start to get the finals experience into their younger players. This game's going to be an awesome game.
I reckon it deserved a Friday night slot, to be honest.
This is game of the round.
When is this? What time is this? This is
Sunday afternoon, I think.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Well, it should be a Saturday night.
Yeah. Really? Yeah, seriously. The Caps, on the other hand, they had a pretty indifferent approach, I thought, to the JLT. Played a lot of their youth. And I think we really got a glimpse at what their list is like.
I was going to say, did they play a lot of youth deliberately, or is that their actual list now? Because they could, I think there's a possibility they're too top and bottom heavy with not much mid tier.
Yeah.
That's true.
They haven't taken a lot of high picks in recent years. I think Cockatoo is their highest pick. He was picked 10, and before that it wasn't for a while. I obviously spent a lot of picks on Dangerfield. So they really don't have that much under 22 talent. I think they've got a few kids they can be happy with. They've added Tim Kelly, so I guess that kind of reinforces that mid-tier.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. You say the top teams have the best depth, and I don't know if Geelong do have that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens if they have a few injuries.
Still, there'll be guys like Scott Selwood and Menegola struggling for games, and they're good players.
They're good sturdy players, yeah. Mangola, he's a very good
But
player.
that's,
Scott Seller's out for 3
that's
4 weeks.
because they are they're really strong in that centre position. But who do they? How are they really strong at half back? Are they really strong at half forward? I'm not so sure.
I don't know.
And I'm not sure. I don't think Scott Selwood's the sort of guy
He can't play
that
anywhere.
can't play half forward.
Yeah, he can't play
No, he
anywhere else.
can't. He's very much a negating midfielder,
Yeah.
and if he got asked to take more responsibility, he's shown in the past he's battled a bit. So
Selwood, Buzz, they can't play forward. Oh, Joel's actually okay. Oh, he's pushing forward, but the other ones, no.
Yeah.
Selwood is terrible.
yeah,
He actually had a very good year, Scott. To be fair, last year.
Yeah, it's a shame he's out for 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
already,
he's a really good defensive mid, Scott Selwood. Great tackler, good, pretty decent tagger. He's actually probably another one you guys could almost do with, although you do have a few.
I think we wrecked his ankle, man. We smashed his. We just wrecked his ankle and then shipped him off.
he never came good after an ankle.
He had a good year last year.
Yeah, I guess when he was at West Coast.
He was the best and first.
You guys do have a lot of similar players in his sort of vein. I think Hutchings and Redden could be seen as sort of similar guys.
His offensive game disappeared. Like he was a pretty good ball winner, and like offensively he was good when he won the best and fairest in 2012. And then he just had a few years where he just butchered it. He won the ball 30 times a game and butchered it.
Serious ankle injury would do that to you as well. That wouldn't.
Yeah.
If you lost movement in the ankle.
Yeah.
So we shipped him off. We shipped him off. But no, again, he did have a good season. He's a good role player, but he's permanently injured. He's permanently injured.
Yeah.
Zach Tweedy, he's Geelong, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's
not bad.
He's a very good.
He's nice.
Back player. I like Geelong. I think. Yeah, I don't know if they have. I don't. It's hard. They're hard. They're a bloody hard team to figure out where they're going. But it's just the Geelong culture, and they do have their great core of players. They're seasoned, hardened players. I think top 4 for them, and they.
Remember that one predicted letter I sent to the group chat, but didn't even have them in the 8?
Yeah. That's the thing. If they lose Dangerfield and Adelaide, I could
you can see it slipping, just having a bad run of 3 or 4 games and just really bad losses.
I'm not a huge Hawkins fan myself. I think he's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah, I think he's all right as well.
He'll get you 50 goals, but not much more.
He should be doing a bit better, I think, with the talent he has. Is how I'd put that down. Probably same with Taylor Walker mould as well.
Yeah.
All right.
We're back.
Okay. Yeah, we're back. The camera went off again. I really got to get it fixed. Whatever setting is causing
TV
that.
issues.
Yeah.
New camera, TV issues.
So just to finish off on Melbourne and Geelong, sorry to cut it quickly, but who are we tipping? So you boys said Melbourne. I think I'm going to go Melbourne narrowly by 10 points. What about you boys?
I was going to say Geelong, but then I didn't realise the Dangerfield Ablett stuff, so I'll probably say Melbourne by about 26.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Melbourne for some reason. So
I'm not a big fan either.
I'll go Geelong by 11.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I'd love it if Geelong won.
Yeah.
I'd really enjoy it in a close one.
Really, I'd love it if Melbourne won.
On Big Footy, West Coast and Melbourne were terrible at the same time about 10 years ago, and then fans were insufferable. I think that's what makes us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we beat them for finals last year. There's a bit of a rivalry there still.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. All right, boys, finishing up, West Coast and Sydney. I'm going to this game. It is the first game at Optus Stadium. Very excited. Tough opposition, though. I don't think we could have picked a better fixture. I reckon, as a fan, it's going to look great.
Game.
The colour's going to look good too, because I
get you going, mate. All right.
Yeah. No, I just meant visually. I love watching the Eagles playing their royal blue and Sydney playing in red. I don't know. Not a lot of fans will probably get what I mean by that, but I think jumper colour is really important to me, and I think it's going to look sick. But on the flip side of that, are we going to get belted? That is the downside.
At least their jumpers look good.
No,
it'll look great.
No, you're not going to get belted.
Interesting. Okay.
No.
It's interesting that we have a very raw forward line in this game. Rioli playing his first game. Liam Ryan, Daniel Venables, Jake Waterman because Kennedy's not playing, and then maybe even a fifth debutant somewhere with Ainsworth or Watson. Probably less likely. But
it's not gonna be good. I can't see it.
I don't think we're going to get the supply to win. I think our defence holds up. But then again, we're playing on a wider ground now.
Yeah, different new game plan, not as much hope. Yeah,
we've barely trained at Optus.
Yeah,
twice.
Exactly.
Our defensive zone shows it doesn't hold up on a wider ground.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound too negative here, but I wish we got an easy team round one because I think Sydney's midfield is going to monster ours. Personally,
yeah.
I think Nick Nat will play. It sounds like he's going to play.
We're a week out, and he's played 15 minutes of 3 quarters in a waffle reserves level.
A waffle pre-season game it was.
Yeah.
But against a bloody kid that's like 197, 80 kegs.
Yeah.
It wasn't against a man, it was against a growing...
I don't think it was so much about who his rucking opponent was. I think it was about getting the minutes running around the field and jumping into contests. I think that's what it was.
Still, there's a difference between a kid and a bloody...
Yeah.
Even with bloody Sydney's ruck issues, still like a Darcy Cameron or someone like that.
I think he'll absolutely annihilate Darcy Cameron if he comes up against him, to be honest. Personal opinion.
But like reading the reports of Nanui during that game, it was only probably in the last third quarter where he was jumping off the left leg, like full on jumping and
that's a confidence thing.
It is, yeah. But then what do? Do you throw him straight into a round 1 game after missing all these games and only playing 15 minutes of confident football?
I think it was telling that he was withheld from the second Waffle pre-season game.
We had no one playing that.
Is that true? I read one article that said that, and then it looked like there was a photo with Larset in there.
I don't think we had any boys playing.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I'll reserve that point. But Simpson does say round 1 or 2.
Yeah, they did say they was going to play finals last year as well. So.
No, he never said that.
Well, no, they did say it, but I can't see him making too much of an impact in the first 3 or 4 rounds. It's a brave thing to play him for round 1.
I think it's a good step for him because round 2 got Geelong, they got Zach Smith. Round 1, he's going to come up against no one. Because Sydney have their own ruck issues.
And that's true.
It's about getting the minutes into him, I reckon, and if they can give him managed minutes against a weaker team, a weaker ruck team.
That's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing quite going for it is that Sydney don't have really a ruck division for this game, so you can ease him in that way.
That's our chance to equalise here, to even out the midfield battle because we can just win a few more clearances without him. We are a terrible clearance team, so. So you don't think we're going to get belted?
No, I don't think you'll get belted, but I think you'll lose.
Okay. Well, when I say belted, I guess I was exaggerating. I think it'll be a fairly low-scoring game because we're a pretty proficient defensive team. I think we'll lose by about 5 goals, though.
Yeah, I'll go similar.
Yeah.
I'm doubling it, losing by 10.
Woo, 10 goals. Okay. Yeah.
Buddy Franklin's
what a surprise.
Mate, Buddy's going to run around like that. He's going to have a day. I'm calling it.
Wonder who will get Buddy.
I'm calling it. Buddy has a day.
Mackenzie.
He's injured.
Yeah, I get that. Who usually plays them, Buddy, when we've had him?
Mackenzie or Schofield. Yeah. I don't think Barras would do well.
And McGovern's more of a floaty, roundy, picky marks rather than run around with a Buddy that's up.
It'd be interesting. I reckon Yo could even play on him. I know he gets a lot of height, but he's actually athletic. So
Yo'd probably have a crack.
We've got to start putting Yo into midfield roles as an offensive weapon instead of negating.
Simpson said he might start key forward.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
man, I don't know about this yet. I don't know. It could be a nasty one.
Yeah, I don't think so. I really think we're too good to fall into the bottom 4.
Oh yeah, that won't happen. But I'm pretty pessimistic about it. I mean, what's that? We're getting led by Jake Waterman as our centre half forward. First game, he looked pretty lost in. Well, I guess that whole team looked lost in the pre-season.
Yeah, but our highest score was like 57 for the whole pre-season.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Jack Darling's a good forward that kicks plenty of goals. He hasn't even got a mention. Even though he's
played really well.
Very good second forward, but should step up in the absence of your first.
I don't think he's a good first forward.
He played well.
He's probably one of the best second forwards in the game. Like maybe Gunston's better, definitely, but like other than that, I'm trying to think. Jenkins.
Yeah. Jenkins.
I think he gets a bad rap, Darling, because he does dumb shit. No doubt about it.
Yep.
But he's a good player.
He gets results.
Yeah, he's serviceable.
He gets results.
Serviceable. Yeah. I'm not saying I like him, but let's
not go that far.
No, he's never going to get dropped. Yeah. Okay, I think Sydney's midfield is too strong. They're going to make light work of ours, I think. last year, obviously, they went 0-6. So they need to avoid making the same mistakes this year. Obviously, it'd be hard to predict them doing the same thing again. And they also have an away trip to Geelong early in the season, I think. So they wouldn't want to drop this away game right before that.
I think a few of their mids really dropped off last year in their production. I know Hanbury had a down year. Parker had a slightly down year on his standards. I mean, Kennedy was still pretty good. Kieran Jack, he's one that's gone right downhill. Personally, I don't even know if he's in their best 22, but he's a great leader.
Yeah.
So,
they'll get more out of like Jakey Lloyd, Heaney, Mills, those sort of guys.
Yeah, I'm a big Heaney fan. And Jake Lloyd, he had a fabulous year last year. Nick Newman, he's another one that's looked really good in JLT. Had a few good games last season.
Even Zachy Jones.
Zach Jones, he's another. He's serviceable. He's your good hard man tagger sort of guy.
I think they had a good year developing that next layer, which is something some teams haven't done, including West Coast. But the guys like even that young few like Florent and Will Hayward in particular, they both came from the same draft. I think both first year players played a bit of game time. Obviously they got Mills and Heaney coming in. I think the talent spread's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's really hard to ever write Sydney off as a flag chance, to be honest. So,
I think
I put him on top in my.
I mean, the thing about them is such a like Jekyll and Hyde team. They went 0-6, then spent the middle part of the year looking like the team.
Yeah.
They, I think they beat Sydney. They beat Richmond at the G in that famous game where Richmond conceded like a 7 or 5 goal lead or something. And then in the finals, just lost to Geelong by 10 plus goals. So
yeah,
I mean, it was a bizarre sort of season for them. But
yeah, my head says to this one they should win by 4 or 5 goals.
4 or 5 goals,
really, pretty easily. I hope it doesn't happen, but I think that's what will happen.
Well, the Eagles, everyone's jumped off them because of the JLT, and I think they're a team. Like a lot of teams for every Fremantle, where the media, as soon as there's one bad game, they will give them absolute hell. You're a bit like this with West Coast. But I really don't think it's as bad as JLT suggested. I think whatever happens in round 1, I think we'll still steady and we'll finish around mid-table.
I had Giz low before the JLT game, to be fair.
He did.
Yeah, true. That's true. But what I mean is, as soon as there's one bad performance, you sink the boots in.
That's more me being accountant to Eagles. Accounting their losses.
Training accountant. I like that. Jake Carlisle is a training.
Yeah, he's a big training
He's
accountant.
a massive training accountant. I just think we're banking on too many players that are inconsistent or haven't proven themselves, like a Redden in the midfield. And things like that. Or
another one who had a great JLT 1 and then JLT 2 was pathetic.
It can go either way. I just can't see it going good. But yeah, I agree. Too much pride into. We'll finish mid-table and probably bow out first, second round.
Yeah,
but lost this one. I'm penciling this loss, which is a shame for the first game at the new stadium to be a loss.
Yeah,
a lot riding on Josh Kennedy.
He's a massive.
If you guys lost Josh Kennedy, I would have you quite low personally. I rate him so high. I think he's an A+, as good as Buddy.
Franklin didn't kick 10 goals against Buddy Carlton, for God's sakes.
As good as Buddy.
He's
arguably better.
As a forward, there's like a key forward in the game. It's not meant. I don't think of any play, but you think if we talk about Taylor Walker and Hawkins and how good they are, but they're not as good as Candy. They're like
Kennedy will absolutely flog those two.
Breakfast,
See, like I don't want to sound like a really disgruntled Eagles fan who's bitter, but I think it's a bit of a joke how much he gets overlooked by the media. Fair enough if you rate Buddy better, that is fine. But the other day, someone said, I can't remember who it was, but a commentator was like, "Do you think Ben Brown's just about established himself as the best key forward in the game, or was it Tom Lynch?" It was he's about the 5th one back. Like Tom Lynch is there.
Ben Brown, Danaher.
Yeah, Danaher is even better. And then they've overlooked Kennedy, who could have won 3 Colemans if he hadn't missed 5 or 6 games.
Missed 5 or 6 games, I think Buddy kicked 10 against Carlton. Against like Liam Jones, for God's sakes, in the back line. What a flipping joke that was.
Yeah, I know.
Can deserve 3.
But yeah, you're right in that we're a very poor inside 50 team. So if we lose the guy who converts these inside 50s into Coleman medal seasons, we'd be in strife. And I think it reaffirms our decision to draft Brander with pick.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Good talent. Good to see him getting it.
It's closer to the team than most key forwards are in their first year, to be fair. So, interesting times. All right, boys. Well, I think we can just about wrap that one up. That one went a little bit longer than we thought. We had technical issues, and you know what happens when we start talking. It's hard to keep track of time. But to those watching, thank you for tuning in. And we have had a massive explosion of subscribers from 60 to 90 in the last week. And I want to thank the boys at Reddit as well. I think a lot of you are from there. So if you're still watching, thanks for getting around it. And please subscribe if you haven't already.
Hit the button.
Yeah, no, all right. See ya.
Catches. Get you.